I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is the big Wednesday night show. It is Wednesday, episode 212 of the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Christopher H. Bilbrey. Of course, producer Kate is down at the controls doing what she does, making sure that the show runs as smooth as ever. Thank you all for tuning in and giving us a bit of your time. We understand how valuable your time is, and we are honored that you have decided to share this time with us. Before we get into the show, I would like to ask you all to consider hitting the like button. Please hit that like button. We've been doing pretty good in that area here in the last couple of weeks, but we need your help to do that. Also, I will remind any of you that are not subscribers, please take a second and subscribe. You can do that for absolutely free. It costs you nothing, no cost to you. If you subscribe, you will then be able to click the bell, which will allow you to be notified when we go live 9 p.m. Eastern, Sunday through Thursday, or when we go live at special times, or when we drop static videos or other shorts, yada, yada, yada. Also, as you know, most of you know, we are a very interactive show, which means we are interested in hearing what you have to say. So if you're watching live, please feel free to comment in the live chat box over here on the side. And if you're watching at your own time via the replay, then you'll need to comment in the comment box below. Either way, we like to hear what you've got to say, and we will get back with you, and we will respond as we can. Most importantly, please help spread the word by sharing the show with everyone you know. That's the single best thing that you can do to help us out. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Last night was a long one. I apologize. We had a lot to talk about. I actually had like 4 or 5 different things lined up to discuss last night, and the Delaware County Council meeting it needed to take as long as it took. And so we made some adjustments, and we made that show about that. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about Muncie. This is going to be a very Muncie-oriented show. Thank God I'm based in Muncie. A lot of you are saying, talk about Muncie. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And I got to say, ladies and gentlemen, there have been a lot of things being said today. Today's been a very crazy day in the world of Muncie, Delaware County government and politics. There have been a lot of things that have been going on. People have been saying things. There's been a lot of nitpicking and bickering back and forth, bitching and moaning on social media. City of Muncie removed comments. Do we have screenshots and pictures of the comments they removed? That's what I'm needing to find out from people. I see that there are several people saying that there were comments removed. What I need to know is this. Number one, did they remove their comments or did they remove other people's comments? Both are bad. But I want to know which is which. And do we have screenshots of the comments that were there and now are not? And I want to know that. And then I want to know who's commenting this. I want to know if it's so basically we've got like 3 people that it could be. We've got 3 people that it could be. It could be Sherry Ridenour, which I don't think it is. It could be Shireen Wagley, which is a very good possibility. Or it could be Michelle Owen. And while I think Michelle is starting to move into a bit of a territory where she could be a little sassy pants, I do believe that it's more likely Shireen Wagley. Now, the post that we're referring to is on Facebook, and we're actually going to look through this post here in a little bit. It's going to be part of one of the topics that we talk about tonight. We might as well just get into the topics and let you guys know what we're talking about. So, tonight's show, we're going to go through the Board of Works meeting from this morning. There was a Board of Works meeting today, Wednesday the 29th. We're going to go through that Board of Works meeting. We're then going to go through the community update, and there is some big news in the Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour's community update. Holy crap. Okay, so we're going to be listening to that. Next up, we're going to talk about the mayor versus AFSCME. All right. Mayor Dan Ridenour versus the AFSCME Union. And so I want you guys to know that. We're going to talk about this 10% raise ordeal, which most of you are like, what? This is a rerun. Yes, I know. We talked about this back nearly a month ago. But we are going to be talking about it again, just so that we know where everything is, because the Star Press just talked about it yesterday for the first time. We're then going to have a Camp Ridenour update. I've got some news about Camp Ridenour. Of course, that's the retreat up north that they're going to be taking next month. We then have some news about the Crisis Center before we look at where we are with records. So for those of you that don't know, I want to be clear. AFSCME, and a lot of people are like, wait, what are you saying? AFSCME is a union, okay? And it's the union that represents all of the full-time city employees that are not police and or fire or elected officials. So it's the street department, it's the secretaries, it's the office workers in the building commissioner's room, office area department. It's the full-time park people. And AFSCME stands for American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employee. So it's American A, Federation F, State S, C, County, Municipal M, and E employees. So AFSCME, AFSCME. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we without further ado, we might as well get right into the situation with the City of Muncie Board of Works meeting. I don't want to I don't want this to just go on and on and on. And you know how long these Board of Works meetings can get. So we might as well just get right into this. That way we can get through it. Let me get this pulled up here. And we're going to be ready to rock in just 1 second. Oh, Catherine Callahan, thank you, ma'am. You don't have to do that, but I definitely appreciate your gift. You are a fantastic friend and a friend to the show. Thank you very much, ma'am. I appreciate it kindly. What is going on? They're trying to get started without us. All right. I hope there's enough time in the day for this. Yeah, no kidding. I hope you guys packed the lunch. This is a big 11-minute meeting. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. All right. Ladies and gentlemen.
Well, our 4-minute and 30-second guy yesterday that piped in right at the tail end credits definitely lost that bet.
Yeah. Right.
They buried you. I'm sorry.
Who was it that said that?
I think it was Stumblefoot, wasn't it?
It might have been.
I think it was Stumblefoot. Said 4 minutes and 26 seconds, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's
well, they doubled that.
They almost tripled it.
It was almost tripled that. So
my God.
Let's hear what was so busy. Let's hear what they had going on. Well, thank you very much, Catherine. We appreciate you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the May 29th meeting of the Muncie Board of Works, Public Works and Safety.
He has been a board member or president for going on 5 years, and he still doesn't know how to properly say the name.
If you'd like to please rise, we'll recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
I mean, good Lord, Ted, just start speaking, dude.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. If we could have roll call, please.
Ted Baker.
I'm present.
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 We've been presented the minutes of the May 22nd meeting. Do we have a motion to approve?
Yeah, I move approval of the May 22nd minutes as presented.
And I'll second.
Any comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carried. I do want to make sure, just one kind of housekeeping mention. On Wednesday, June 19th, there will not be a Board of Works meeting because that's a city holiday of Juneteenth. So City Hall will be closed, and the meeting is being moved to June 18th, which is a Tuesday. Okay, just
At
for
what time?
it's same time, 9 o'clock in the morning. So just for public record, and it will be posted too. It's just a matter of just making sure everybody knows. So if you come here on June 19th, you won't be able to get in the building. So anyway, okay, Mr. Wright, we have the Register of Claims.
Good morning.
Morning.
Sent out the claims yesterday afternoon. Really not a whole lot on this week's claims besides the usuals. We have utilities and healthcare, and that's really about it. We did have one larger claim for $30,252.93, and that was paid to IMI, and that was out of the MVH restricted fund for surface materials for paving. So besides that, I'll open it up to any questions you might have.
I do have, it's not a question about a claim per se, but under the drug task force, there was a claim for front money for drug buys.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of procedures or policies or whatever do you have in place, controls do you have in
Are drugs involved?
place for accounting for that money?
As, I mean, it's a common practice for them to get that.
I know that, but you know, are there procedures in place to make sure that money is truly used for drug buys and not something else? I mean, one time
You're not going to get a receipt for it, probably.
well, no, I meant,
Sorry.
you know, putting the police officer in a position of temptation is not a good practice. And I just wonder what kinds of mechanisms we have in place for accounting for that money.
I can follow up with the police department, but I'm sure it is under lock and key and it's monitored very closely. And I've been to this section down in the basement one time. It is extremely secure.
Well, that's
so,
all I'm
yeah.
asking. I'm just curious what kinds of controls are in place to make sure that's not abused in some way.
Right, and I'm sure that they've got in and out and signing in and out and accounting
How it was
on
used.
that. So yes. So,
And then also, if there's money acquired through a drug bust or whatever, does that money go back into that fund?
I would assume more than likely that would probably be held for evidence. Of course, I'm not an expert on the police.
Oh my God, this stuff is insane. When you've got idiots talking about
and what they hold for evidence, but my assumption would be that money that was gathered during a drug bust would be held for evidence, and that would also be down in their evidence locker, which is very heavily monitored.
And then utilized as needed later on. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Craig. Lola, do you have anything?
No.
Okay, I do not either. Do we have a motion to approve the claims as presented?
I move approval of the claims for $560,818.
Okay.
I note that that's considerably less than what we've had
Mhm.
recently, but this is the 5th week of the month, so
Yeah.
maybe that's part of it.
Did you second? Okay. Any comments or questions? Okay. Having none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carried.
Thank you.
Craig, for a great job. We have for Everlasting LLC. Do we have a representative from there this week? Okay, we'll just continue to table that.
How about you pull it off the table and get
Next,
rid of it?
New business, we have an approval of an addendum to services contract between the City of Muncie and Computer Management and Consultants Incorporated. Who's going to present on that? I believe that is Mr. Craig Wright.
I don't have a copy of it, but what this is an extension for the year 2025 that we're good for this year with the IT department, with them continuing to provide the services that they do to the city on our website and computer-related functions.
And just for this has been in place since 2012, so it's a long-standing agreement.
Yes, it's been a long-standing agreement, and I will say that Adam and his team has been extremely helpful to everybody. They are they're on top of their game. I'll just put it that way. So, and they are local.
And I do see that this extension starts on January 1st, 2025.
Yes,
It goes through December 31st, 2028.
yes.
And there is a payment schedule or fee schedule for this. And there are actually very slight increases, very, very slight increases from
Right.
year. So it seems very reasonable.
Are you the only one who got, there, sorry, there it is.
Early, so.
No,
Did you hear what
picked
she
it up.
started to say? Linda started to say, are you the only one that got a copy of this? Meaning she had not looked through it until right now. Right now was the very first moment that Linda pulled out that paper, which means until right now, she had not reviewed that. So I just want it to be known when I get up and I say, hey, don't you think you guys ought to be spending more time going through the claims and things? and they say, well, we look through everything at home. You know, we're not accounting what we do on our own. I want to pull this out and be like, well, except for because Linda didn't even know that she got a copy of the documentation that they were looking at. She literally just started to ask him. And Kate's giving me the peace symbol. That's 2 weeks in a row. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Well, because last week she said, last week she hadn't had anything because she had Wi-Fi issues. So, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So just keep that in mind.
Something, excuse me.
Yes, they're one thing I will say that they run a very tight ship, and especially with all the phishing that goes on the internet, trying to get into systems, there's nothing that they don't catch. So,
Are these the Yahoos that help with the
I would
council's
move
email?
approval of the administrative services contract.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
This is something else. It's the IT that should be helping with the council's email. So no, that's not this.
I'll second.
Okay. Are there any comments or questions? Okay. Having none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, motion carried. Very good, thanks. Yeah, I did notice on that there's a 6 months time leading up to any changes, so they've met within that realm very well. It gives plenty of time for scrutiny and such. Next, we have new business, street closure for Recovery Cafe. Who's speaking on behalf of that?
Well, listen to this.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name's Abby Gluvna. I'm the
Abby,
program
good morning.
manager over at Recovery Cafe. And yes, we are just seeking a road closure for our second annual pro-social membership celebration. It'll be for, I think, 2 hours on July 27th. And we are just trying to open this up for the community, just to come celebrate with us, just to check out the cafe and what we have to offer. We had one last year, so this would just be our second one. And last year's went really well. And this just kind of gives our members an opportunity who are in recovery to kind of step back into the public while working on their recovery, which can be kind of difficult. So
Abby, what road is being closed? What are you requesting?
it will be from Mulberry to Jefferson. So just that East Charles.
Yeah, okay, right in front of where Recover Cafe is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What will you be doing in that block?
Yes. So we'll just have like cornhole. We'll have just different games. We'll have music. And then last year and this year as well, we planned on having some community resources kind of set up just so people like Open Door, Health Navigators, Meridian, kind of people like that having tables set up.
And you don't have any kind of parking lot or any other kind of off-street area you could have that, right?
The church who we rent from, they have that side parking lot that is connected to Commonweal Church, and they've allowed us to use that as the parking lot.
Yeah, so you'll need parking for
Yes.
that anyway. So
Yeah.
that will be
Okay.
okay.
Well, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
figure out why we need the street closed.
Yeah.
But
Yes. Yeah. Just kind of opens it up a little bit more.
Draws attention.
Yeah.
As long as it's in safely. And have they filled out the appropriate paperwork and everything? Okay, so
and
I do have police chief and fire chief approval.
what day of the week is that?
That is a Saturday.
Saturday.
Yes.
we'll
And you're going to
appreciate it.
have good weather. So
Hopefully.
we're just going to say you are.
Well, thank you for bringing that up to us early too. That always is nice to have.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
do we have a motion?
Yeah. I'll move approval of the street closure.
I'll second.
Okay, any have public comment or questions? Okay, having none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Abby, right after
Yes,
the
you
meeting,
can, Lenny.
place, you'll have paperwork that we'll have signed ready, okay?
Awesome.
You can
Thank you.
take your copy up.
Thank you.
That's all of the presented business. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share to the Board of Works this morning? Going once, going twice. Okay. Having none, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Jesus. Okay. So I'll have you know, I was busy and was unable to go this morning. I do have something in the works planned for the Board of Works coming up soon. I am going to attempt to go to it next Wednesday. I'm going to attempt to get this on the record with them in front of them next Wednesday. I am not going to talk about what it is because I do not want to give them the heads up. So I'm not going to go through a lot of conversation about what it is. I'm not going to go over what I plan to address with them. But I do have something that I have been working on, something that I am in the process of getting formulated, and it's basically done. I just need to determine if I think next Wednesday I should be able to go. I should be able to attend and get on the record with what I'm wanting to do. So that will be a week from today. Like I said, I'm hoping that is. I'm hoping that I will be able to do what I'm wanting to do with that. So I will keep you guys posted. Just I would say we'll continue going through all of this stuff as normal. If I cannot go next Wednesday, I will definitely do it. It'll either be Wednesday, next Wednesday, or the Wednesday following. It will be one of those 2 Wednesdays. But I have something that I want to address before them, and I wanted to be able to do it today, but I just was not able to make it work. So that's that. Obviously, they didn't spend any more time going through claims. I will say, in fairness, this was the 5th week. We only have a couple months out of the year that have the 5 weeks like that. So there was a less money spent than usual. So that, I guess that's a good thing. But yeah, still, they didn't go over any vendors. They didn't go over anything, major there. So that was the Muncie Board of Works that occurred at 9:00 this morning. Immediately following the I will say this: there were questions that folks had in the comments, and I wanted you guys to know the first comment was from the City of Muncie, and it's we are thrilled that Mark Slusher is not only home from the hospital after that accident, but that he wanted to come back to work today. We missed you, Mark. They said that. A commenter said, wow, 9/11. It ran late today. Jackie Fisher said, Board of Works and the controller making assumptions that cash allocated are being handled appropriately is being short-sighted. Please follow up with the police department chiefs and obtain their protocol for the drug task force cash handling, City of Muncie. And that's an appropriate question. Absolutely. Susan Seifert said, unfortunately, the controller is wishy-washy most of the time about many issues. Of course, then our very own Alva said assumptions, the mother of all F-ups. And so, yeah, I definitely get that. I will let you know that generally the process for drug buy is when you have, let's just say we're going to go buy $100 of X. Well, we'll just say ecstasy. I'll make it easy. We're going to go buy $100 worth of X. And we're going to make it in 20s. So, you used to hear back in the day about marked bills. Oh, that's marked money. Well, it's not like there's a special marking on the money. What marked money is they take the $20 bills and they put them down on a copy machine and they copy the money, and lo and behold, it spits out a color copy with the serial numbers. So you've got a piece of paper here with your $5 $20 bills with your serial numbers, and then you've got $5 $20 bills matching serial numbers. So you put this copy in a piece of in a filing cabinet in the investigative folder, and then you go buy your drugs. And like, say for example, Alva is living up here in the Signature Inn, and I'm going to go buy $100 of ecstasy from Alva, and I take my $100 and I Alva and I give him my $100, and I then leave. Well, the thing is, it depends on what kind of situation it is. If it's the first time buy, that money's more than likely gone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Because the police, we're not going to just immediately go in and kick the door. We might make 2 or 3 buys on Alva over the course of a month or a month and a half, 2 months, 3 months before we actually get a search warrant. So then what happens is, at the say it's the first buy, I go and that money's gone to him, and you know, we spend it and put it out there. Well, now let's say a month and a half later, we're going back and we're doing the third buy, and I go back and I have, you know, $200 now I'm going to buy from him in X, and we've got the marked money, and we've done this over the course of 2 or 3 times. So Alva's gotten. Now it's really like drug dealing. Alva has received all this money from me, and the city of Muncie's out this money. You know, it's operating expenditure. They understand that's going to be. We then go do the third buy. The search warrant's typed up, ready to go. I do the buy, we leave, and then we're going to go in and bust him. And say when we bust him, he's got some other drugs and whatever, but he's also got $5,000 with him. One of those things we do is we go through and we see if we can recover any of the buy money. Now, generally what will happen is we will recover the buy money that we just used. Sometimes we can recover some of the buy money from other buys. Not always. Sometimes you can. And if you can recover it, great, you know, but whatever. So it's just like, it's kind of like an expense of doing the job, but there are controls there. And there are, you know, good manner of controls there. It doesn't mean that was a bad question. The reason I'm giving Linda hell for that, let's take this back. That was a good question from Linda. I appreciate the question. I understand that Steve Craig, what's his name? Craig Wright. I understand that Craig Wright knows nothing about anything. He specifically doesn't know anything about policing and drug buying, I imagine. So I get that he doesn't know it, but he should follow up, and then he should report back at the next meeting and let them know and let the public know what he found out. The reason I scoffed about Linda asking that is, that's a good question. She should ask questions like that on other issues. It's like she asks the serious, hard-hitting, hard-edged questions on some of the most mundane stuff. Yep, the police department might abscond with $200, but we don't care that we've paid, you know, $50,000 to Greenlight Resources. That doesn't matter. But heaven forbid, you know, you get a sticky-handed police officer stealing $100, which, let me say, that's not a good thing. But they should be asking the questions on everything. Yeah, I agree. I agree, GW Plays. Absolutely. So that's just my thing about that. I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. Okay. From there, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on out of the Muncie Board of Works, and we're going to move into Mayor Dan's community updates. We're going to do a review of this almost 6-minute mayor's community update. And unlike the majority of them, there's actually some things to talk about here. Dan normally is like very blah, and there's not much to discuss here, but we actually have a few things to discuss here. Yeah, like going back to the Board of Works for a second. Kate says it's a good question, but it would be nice if she would show an iota of concern about controls regarding any other money that's spent, like water, through that board. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly correct. So, all right, here we go.
Good morning, Muncie. Dan Ridenour here, your mayor. Today is Wednesday. It's May 29th. I hope you had a safe and wonderful Memorial Day weekend. There were several events that occurred here celebrating and honoring those who served our country and made all of our lives safe. And I hope you were able to attend either one or both of those events, one in Eakin Park and one at, there was another one at Beech Grove. And there were other events as well. But I hope you all had a great weekend. Now it's also now has become parks opening season. So all of our major parks are open. I'm going to give some brief updates here, but this includes Toohey Pool. Now it's always weather permitting on each and every day, but Toohey Pool is open. The beach at Prairie Creek is ready to go. But I did want to mention that 2 of our splash pads are open. That would be Halteman and Cooley. Thomas Park, there was some vandalism, not only to the splash pad, but to the equipment that runs the splash pad and to the bathroom. So those are not open yet. And Riverview, we're still doing some additional changes that the neighborhood had requested. So we're moving playground equipment and putting in some safety features that they had requested. So that shift of the park has caused us not to open up that particular splash pad yet, but should be very, very soon as that gets completed. So, and our Parks Department continues, Carl Malone continues to do a great job in getting things upgraded at our parks. We're very excited about that. Yesterday, we swore in 2 new police officers, so congratulations to Tyler and Tim. We also will be having a huge, I guess, swearing in ceremony for 22 new firefighters. So we've had a lot of retirements, and 22 new firefighters will be coming on to the Muncie Fire Department, and we'll be doing that next week. So we'll give you more updates as that gets a little closer. As far as paving, there is paving going on Jackson Street on the east side of the city, Main Street on the east side of the city. Also, there's a lot of construction and road work being done on McGalliard on the west side of the city. Tillotson is getting the utility repairs so that we can come in and pave the rest of that next year. And then our own crew finished the milling out on 9th Street, and we'll be doing the paving.
Yeah.
Today, if weather permitting, probably will end up being tomorrow because of the rains that just passed through. But 9th Street, and that's right there at Eakin Park, and going east. So that will be getting done by our own city crew. We have a strategy session coming up for city council members and our department heads. And we've been very intentional about this. We've been planning ahead, and we want to start our second term in a situation to where everybody heads. We have a strategy session coming up for city council members and our department heads. And we
First annual strategy session, city council and department heads.
been very intentional about this. We've been planning ahead, and we want to start our second term in a situation to where everybody with these new council members, we want to make sure everybody's on the same page, that we get feedback, that we're able to draw from that feedback and help us move in a great direction for our city. What we found is that many successful cities do these annual sessions. Cities like Bloomington, Noblesville, Columbia City, Goshen, McCordsville, And we've even talked to some facilitators as we were going through that, trying to put together this event, of facilitators who say they've done them in cities in California and Texas and Florida. So what we find is the most successful cities are the ones that have these events, and the cities that are struggling are ones that don't. So we've got this put together. We're going to be taking.
Dan reminds me of the guy. Dan reminds me of the guy that sits at home and can't sleep. And so it's like 2:00 in the morning and he's jumping through the commercials and TV, and he stops on one that says, "Do you want to learn to play left-handed guitar even though you're right-handed? Have you always wanted to be a left-handed guitar player? Do you want to learn how to play that in exactly 1 week? Well, then if you send off tonight, you can get this left-handed guitar player, da-da-da-da-da." And Dan's like, "Yes, I want to do that." And so he like, boop, 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 boop. "Yes, hey, give me 2 of them." And the lady on the phone's like, "Sir, you only got one left hand." "It doesn't matter." And so then he buys that and he hangs up and then he moves on. And it's like Dan, you see Dan sitting there and they're like, "Dan, are you 500 pounds overweight?" And Dan's like, "Yes, I'm 500 pounds overweight." And he calls and he's like, "Yes, I need your pill." And he's like, he's into whatever the next biggest, best thing is. Let me tell you what would make you a successful city, Dan. Being truthful and honest. Communicating with your public. How long have I been talking about this Camp Ridenour? And he's just now coming out with a statement about it. I've literally heard that there are people in his administration and they're fighting about this, and they've been fighting about this, and people close to him and supporters and back and forth that are saying like, "You should come out and talk about this." And Shireen Wagley's like, "No, we don't want to come out and talk about it." And they're like, "Yeah, but you don't want Bilbrey to talk about it first." And they're like, "Screw that. It doesn't matter. He doesn't know what he's talking about." And then they're like, "Well, Bilbrey came out with an update last night where he was talking about this Camp Ridenour." And they're like, "It doesn't matter. No one cares. He doesn't know what he's talking about." And then they're like, "Well, he showed evidence. He's got emails and he's got like a flyer and things." And they're like, "It doesn't matter. Nobody listens to him." And people are like, "You ought to, he's making you look reactionary." And then finally they come out with it and they're like, "Well, we're going, they're literally fighting about this." And his answer is, "Well, we've heard that this is what successful cities do." All right, more about that in a minute.
City council members and the department heads out of town to make sure they're away from the distractions. It's really just for 24 hours, but it'll roughly 3 p.m. on Friday to 3 p.m. on a Saturday. But it provides us a chance with an outside facilitator.
Okay. So now we're hearing something different than what we've heard before. Why is he saying, like, he's giving us the bare minimum? Remember, we talked about this last night. I'm tired, Dan Ridenour, of the flippin' bare minimum from you. I expect more than what you're giving. Who is the outside facilitator? What's the company? Who are they? What's their role going to be? How much are they getting paid to do this?
To do some set some priorities, not only for this year, but for the coming next 4 years. So items that we are able to put into the parks plan, for example, then become items that you can get in a grant. If it's not in your parks plan, it can't be a part of it. So we want
put it in the parks plan. You don't have to go to Angola to put it in a parks plan. Hey, try this on for size. Talk about this in a city council meeting. I got it. Put it, put it in a parks plan that you talk
Or
about in the
pick
council
up the
meeting.
fucking phone and call your parks board
Yeah.
or the director of the parks
Yeah.
and say, what do we want to write grants for this year so we can put it in the plan?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not as hard as they're making it seem. I don't get it. I honestly don't get why they're making this all this hard. Let's see here. I want to get this here real quick. Oops, crap.
To do so, not only for this year, but for the coming next 4 years. So items that we are able to put into the parks plan, for example.
It's just, sorry, I was writing there. I wanted to get that information to be able to keep track. But it's just ridiculous how he looks at things.
Then become items that you can get in a grant. If it's not in your parks plan, it can't be a part of it. So we want the feedback. We want the council members to tell us some of the things that they'd like to see happen. We have hired a experienced facilitator that will be doing a Gallup strengths session.
Right, here we go.
With our team.
All right. I had not seen this. What is this? He's buying this. Sarah Payne, executive director. I had not seen this earlier. I'm watching this for the first time. So let me keep track of this. I want to write this down. See, this does not look. This looks like something that like Gaddis would have the salesman go to. This doesn't look like something that would be a municipal government thing. Let's see here. .org. Sarah Payne, executive director.
And we're also have allowed plenty of time for council members to get stronger relationships with the department heads and be able to ask specific questions that maybe those particular neighborhoods are looking for. So we're excited. We want to be a city that has a success, that's collaborative and works with all of our input to come through with positive things for the city of Muncie. And we're excited, and we will be doing these on an annual basis going forward. Also want to let everybody know that
even if you're told by your public, by both the Republicans and the Democrats, by all areas of your government, by the citizens, the people that represent you, that we do not want you to do this, you're making that decision. You're a public servant, Dan.
Saturday is first day of June. So June is here, Saturday. But it also a couple things. June is National Pride Month. It's also Men's Health Awareness Month. And we'll also be celebrating Juneteenth in the month of June. And there are several other events that'll be happening in June. So we're excited about June being here, and we're looking forward to a great summer. And I guess that's it for my update today. So I hope you all have a great week, and I'll talk to you next time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the update. Okay, we're going to come back to some things that happened in that. But before we get there, well, you know what? No, let's just move on. We'll flip-flop. We'll flip-flop. We're going to, instead of doing the mayor versus AFSCME now, we'll go ahead and do the Camp Ridenour update now. So we'll just move in from that to Camp Ridenour because that makes sense. So, Camp Ridenour, countdown to Crazy Town. All right, let me tell you, I'm hearing lots of different things. So, first and foremost, we need to do our update on who's going versus who's staying. And we do have an update. We do have an update on this. So I do have an official update for you. So let me write this down here so we can have an understanding on what's happening. So Jeff Green, Nora Powell, Brandon Garrett, Sarah Gullion, Jerry Dishman, Harold Mason, Rose Selvey, Dale Basham, and Billy Mack. Okay. Republican, Democrat, 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 Republican, Republican, Democrat. So we know that Nora Powell is not going. Nora said she's not going. We know that Brandon Garrett's not going. So Brandon Garrett's not going. We know that Sarah Gullion is not going. From there, we know that Billy Mack is not going. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of them are not going. 4 of them are not going. We know for a fact now that those 4 are not going. I was messaged today and told that Rose Selvey was now in fact going. That Roe is going on this retreat. Now, the difference here is, and I got to be honest, I'm okay with what Roe said. I'm going to be okay with Roe. We're going to hold her feet to the fire and we're going to find out if this is true. And if this is true, I'm okay. Roe said that after she heard what I said about Luke Britt, and after she heard what Dan said, she kind of thought that maybe it would be canceled, that they wouldn't have it if the council wasn't going. When she found out that they were still going to go, she said, okay, well, I'm going to go, but I'm going to pay for my own room. I'm not going to have the city pay for it. And I'm going to pay for my food. And I thought, okay, I'm okay with that. If Roe is saying, look, they're going to go, they're going to have this, and I want to hear what they're talking about, but I am not going to have the city pay, so I'm going to do a record request, and I'm going to find this out. She said that she'll give me all the information. She is paying with it out of her pocket. And if that, in fact, is the truth, then I am okay. So now we're going to put in the going section. All right. Roe is going. All right. I have not heard from Dale Basham. Dale Basham will not respond to me. I called him out on this at the last council meeting. Fortunately, we have a council meeting that will occur before they go. We have a council meeting this coming Monday. So I will go. If she gets reimbursed, then that would be a problem. No, she's saying that she's going to pay for it and she's going to eat the cost. So I'm saying as long as she does that, I'm okay. If she would pay for this, if the city would pay for it, I would be like, yeah, whatever. But if she's going to pay for it and not be reimbursed and she's going to come out of her pocket, then I guess I'm fine with that. But so we're going to say, without talking to Dale, I believe he's going. He won't tell me one way or another, but Roe also thought that Dale was going. So that's Roe and Dale. Okay. So that's that. I also have heard. Well, yeah, if the quorum is going, yeah, right. I agree, Annie. And that's the thing. That's what's going to make the difference here. I also heard today, for whatever reason, and it blows me away, that Harold Mason is going. Harold Mason's a Democrat. I'm shocked he's going. I don't know why he would be going, but I heard he is going. So, yeah, right, Brandon. So Harold Mason is now a go. That now leaves Jerry Dishman and Jeff Green. I don't believe for any reason on this planet that Jerry Dishman would go. Maura Powell, Brandon Garrett, Billy Mack, Sarah Gullion is no-go. So we've got 4 no-go. We've got 3 going. And we've got 2 undecided. I don't believe Jerry Dishman will go. I don't believe he will. That leaves Jeff Green. If Jeff Green goes, it'll only be 4. It'll only be 4 people going, and it won't be a quorum. At that point, it won't, in my opinion, be a public meeting, and that now then brings us into the Facebook comments and all of the insanity that occurred today. Let me pull up these comments and see if I can show you these. Okay. All right. Now you're saying Mason is not going. I heard today that he told someone specifically that he was going. So are you saying 1000% he is not going? Because I heard, first of all, he talked to Audie Bar. I mean, so here's what I know for a fact. I know for a fact last week he told Audie Barber he was thinking about going. He was just going to see who else was going or not. And he told Audie that last week. And I was like, well, I don't know. He's a toss-up. And then I heard today that he did, in fact, tell he RSVP'd to the city of Muncie and said that he was going. So have you heard him say directly that he's not going? If they book their own rooms, if they attend, here's what it matters. If they attend their meeting, if they attend the meeting, then that's what matters. If there's 5 people, if there's 5 councilmen or 5 council persons that go, counselors, that's a quorum. They cannot be 5 council members that go, period. So there are a lot of comments that are going on back and forth. There were people in here. There were 200 some comments going, or 100 some comments that were going on at one point in this thing. Let me get these pulled up here so we can see them. Okay, so let me go to all comments. Okay, so the first comments that were pulled up, Someone says free vacation on the taxpayer dime. I hope certain council members opt out. City of Muncie says that would be a missed opportunity to ask detailed questions of department heads and the administration and otherwise advocate for their constituents in a focused session, as well as missing out on some great training. This is about improved communication, understanding the goals and priorities of the different districts, and strengthening working relationships between council members and the city department heads. Someone said, instead of going to Angola, you go to Prairie Creek Campground, use the buildings on site, take a drive around the lake in a pontoon, go to a public beach, walk around the Rocky Foot cutting sand. Just saying, it would be better to use that money for sand at the public beach, because most of our Prairie Creek money was given to companies called Green Light Resources. Don't want to mention the name. Hope all goes well and you guys and girls get on the same tune, because this city has a lot to digest at this point. Stay safe and remember to use sunscreen. Ross Gates says, it's not a missed opportunity. These questions can be asked literally at any time during any workday. This is about theft of taxpayer dollars, and I commend every council person who stands up against the blatant corruption. Let's try to strengthen the roads first, shall we? Someone says, the motto, gotta love Muncie, yet driving his staff out of Muncie to camp. Make it make sense, Dan. Someone else says, this is not about a meeting that they're supposed to be going. This is about a meeting that they're not supposed to have without opening it to the public. And how many people in Muncie do you think can afford to go all the way up to Angola for a meeting and can afford to stay up there to get to all the meeting? This was the way they can try to sway decisions without any public input. Someone says, I can say to the council member that goes, I will not be voting for them in any future election. Someone says, a working retreat where they get to take their families on the taxpayer dime, having bonfires and all sorts of extra activities, fancy place to stay for them and their families, paid for by the taxpayers. I'd say of anything, if they have to do it, then the family should not be invited unless they're paying for their food and hotel and activities out of their own pockets. Just ridiculous. This is not a working retreat if they're inviting their families along and the taxpayers are paying for it, including family members. Don't tell me the department has to cancel members Don't tell me the department has and cancel members can't be away from their families for 24 hours. Council members can't be away. I get it. Don't tell me the departments and council members can't be away from their families for 24 hours. Are you going to talk about unethical with all the stuff going on with Dan's right-hand man? That shit is unethical, above all beyond unethical. I feel like we're back in the Tyler administration, maybe worse. Yada, yada, yada. Fortunately, the smart ones did, at least 5 of them. Someone brings up the bathrooms at Thomas Park. They've been unusable for over 5+ years. Just admit you build a splash pad without having a bathroom facility in mind. That in itself is showing people you don't think things through before you act upon issues concerning the city. You're failing to provide adequate security for the parks as Indiana law requires. Your park expansion is overburdening your short-staffed park department, which is incapable of providing adequate maintenance and security for the ever-expanding park system that you keep jamming down the throats of burdened taxpayers. Security cameras are getting vandalized along with park equipment. That should tell everyone that you're not taking park security seriously enough. We need security fences around the splash pads and bathrooms, just like the ball diamonds have. And if it keeps cutting wires to the cameras, try wrapping barbed wire around the poles that the cameras are on. Let's see. It goes on. Let's see here. Still not going to publicly address using taxpayer money to fund a vacation for city government department heads. The City of Muncie says, "Hi, Ross. The strategy session is a chance for focused training and planning, as well as for the city council members to ask detailed questions of department heads and advocate for constituent priorities in a dedicated setting. Hundreds of municipalities host annual multi-day strategy sessions, and the city budgets for training development." Now, I heard for a fact that it was Shireen Wegley that picked this area. I heard that. And so she's the one that wanted to go up here, which is just mind-boggling to me. Somebody, this is what I'm trying to get down here. Somebody says, this is a very good question. This is very interesting. Is this a public meeting? Cameron Grubbs says, is this a public meeting or a meeting for city members and department heads? I've seen and heard both from official communications. If it's not a public meeting, aren't there quorum rules about having so many council members attending in one place? Okay. City of Muncie says, at this point, it looks like the City of Muncie says, Cameron Grubbs, at this point, it looks like fewer than 5 council members are attending. So it will not be a public meeting. We hope for full sure. Then a citizen says, City of Muncie, did you ever send Christopher Bilbrey his RSVP? Now that it isn't public, are you resending it? The City of Muncie says this. Hi, Tom. This is a work session for council members and department heads. Mr. Bilbrey is welcome to run for council in 2027 or apply for employment at the City of Muncie, although we currently do not have any open department head positions. Only Shireen Wegley would write that line. The fact that Shireen Wegley is responding to another citizen about my name and is referring to me in a smart ass tone shows how beyond ridiculous these people are, how unserious these people are, how gross these people are. Okay? And just right here, Catherine says, I have a theory. People who are not going, are they going to put these people on speakerphone and they can then join in and they would have a quorum? Also, why can't people hold these elected officials accountable? The fact that the city responds at all shows that they are trying to hush everyone up. So now the city is telling the city, Shireen Wegley, with wearing the face of the city, is now telling another citizen that I can't go to a state park. I beg to differ. You better bet your ass I can go to a state park. It's not my fault you didn't have this in your city hall at on a Saturday where you can lock the doors, or in a building. You're having this at a state park. You better bet your ass I'll be there. Absolutely insane to me. Troy Chester says, City of Muncie, like being a smartass or a dumbass, take your choice, because people are getting fed up with this mayor's administration. Tom Abaldi says, I got you. He, Christopher Bilbrey, would be welcome if a 5th counselor was going, though, right? To which I said, it's a state park. I'll be there. That's what I said back. So that's really interesting. It's going to be interesting. So now I'm going to go. Now we'll see if they try to say I can't be there. What's going to happen is I'm going to drive all the way there, and we'll see if Ridenour has the balls to throw me out and say I can't attend. And we'll video them doing that. We'll video them calling the police and trying to kick me out of a state park or whatever. He's already made the statement in an email that I have that it's an open meeting. I've not heard him rescind that. And I'll just shut down for business now between now and the 7th. So he won't be able to confirm to me. Spell out the pronunciation how you would say it there, Brandon. Oh, stand by here. Okay, so that is I'm looking for something here. So, yeah, this is very strange to me that this is what's going on. And I the fact that this is going on back and forth on the City of Muncie Facebook page is literally just, it blows me away that they are continuing to have this back and forth, because there were an additional 60 or 70 some comments of people just letting the administration have it. Like, it's really amazing. Somebody that doesn't even agree with me, like someone that is not a fan of mine, says, it's a bad idea when each side is dogging this. We've got liberals to MAGA all saying, stop this nonsense. Please, City of Muncie, stop this nonsense. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts that they're doing this. And now with Dan, or Shireen rather, who is not the mayor, but who thinks that she speaks on behalf of the city, with them now saying, like, that, I'm not going to be permitted, it'll be interesting to see what exactly they do, because I have an email from Dan Ridenour saying that this is an open meeting, and that they called this an open meeting. It's not my fault that the city councilors don't go. Dan has said that this is an open meeting. I will be in Angola on the 7th and the 8th, and we'll see what the City of Muncie does. I don't know. So we'll have to definitely we're going to caravan up there and see what goes on, because I think that we're going to have to put them to the test. The reason that this is a problem, and the reason that Luke Britt talked about this not being a good idea, is because of the distance between Muncie and Angola. I think it's funny. Oh my God. Well, thank you there, Catherine. We will. Yeah, I'm definitely going. I am definitely going there. I promise you that is beyond. It is a done
now
deal.
You don't have an excuse.
Oh,
Your room is paid for.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, listen, it's a done deal. It is a 100% done deal.
Have you booked your room yet?
What?
Have you booked a room yet?
No, well, no, I have not.
Well,
that's good. We need to do that.
Yes, you need to book a room.
I need to
then
book
it's
room.
a done deal.
Ooh, stand by 1 second. Let's see.
Catherine, outside of what we're actually discussing. It's disgusting. Wow.
We're just
outside of what we are discussing tonight. That comment, get a room, could be taken a totally different way.
Mm-mm. With what they're doing to us, maybe we in the city need to get a room. Let me see where let's see here. What's the name of the oh, right here we are. Yeah, right there it is.
Well, it is disgusting, yes, but it was.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, in the context of what I was trying to say, that was not the correct word.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, Catherine's been on a bit of a tear today, so.
Yeah, yes.
All right, now we get to watch Christopher book a room. Woohoo!
Yes.
It's like watching paint dry. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yes. No smoking allowed. All right, let's see. Okay. We're almost there. No, not that day. Hold on. Tell me. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Next, select the checkout date. Okay. And let's see what we've got going on here. Sorry, Kate is right. This is like watching paint dry. Okay, here we go. Okay. Mobile.
Okay, you are expected to go live. Catherine has put the caveat that she requires live footage so she can get on.
Yeah, I would be live the whole time. That's ridiculous. Absolutely. This would be a live from the room live event. There's no question.
Take your fancy little microphones with you.
Oh yeah.
And Alva's saying, make sure you enunciate when you're reading out your credit card information so we can all
Yes.
understand you.
Yes. Okay. Give me 1 second. Oops, I got to put in my state. Well, of course. And ladies and gentlemen, we are let's see here. I want to make sure that we have everything. All right, I'm going to print that out. So, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. There you have it.
Share your screen.
Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna turn around here to block out card information, and then I will save to PDF. Save. Give me 1 second here. I've got the ball of death floating around. What's this called? Angola. Save. Okay, we're going to pull that up in here, and then I'm going to show y'all. Live on live. Hey, we'll do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Give me a second. So, You watch anything else fun go on today? Anything else fun go on today? Anywhere? Here we go. Let's see. Let me see. Say Angola. Pull it up in here. Here we got it pulled up. All right. You guys are getting ready to see it here. The main reason I'm doing it like this is because only besides sharing it to you, I'm going to post it in the comments because I want them to be able to see it too. So that's why it matters so much, because I want them to be able to see it as well. So it's not just like I'm getting this done so I can also share it. So I can share it live, but also so I can share it. That's amazing. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Whoops. Okay. So your reservation is confirmed. Okay. Let's see here. Is there anything I want to confirmation? Okay, confirmation, check in, check out, night, Toodles, no Saturday, best race, less. Okay. We'll get rid of this. I want to show my address. And we'll get rid of this. Everything else is good to go. Here we go. All right. Oh, God. Here we go. Download. Sorry, folks. I didn't know I was going to be doing this, and so I know that this is really riveting, but we will be moving along.
Everyone seems to be entertaining themselves in the comments.
Okay, that's good.
But Alva does has an interesting question. Is there a place where you could have put the business name?
Probably, yeah. I can probably go back in and update.
And include the political spotlight?
Yeah.
For invoicing purposes later?
Yes.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. It'll be fine. I'm sure it's fine. Let's see here. Yeah, I can do that right here. Look up. Okay. So you guys can see it. I'm uploading it right here. Yep. I can adjust that. I can adjust it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here we go. I had to go through extra special care to make sure I didn't dox myself. No, the flyer did not say. The flyer called it strategic planning. But then when it went down and it showed the agenda said all of the bad things, which Luke Britt said is a no-go. I read the flyer exactly to Luke Britt, and Luke Britt said that should be a no-go for the council. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So Dan Ridenour. All right, I'm seeing this. Okay, well, if I get up there and he's there, it's not going to be good. I hope that's true. I was shocked when he told Audie last week that he was thinking about going. I was shocked. We'll add him down here on the no-go list. But then after he told Audie that, I didn't hear anything else. And then today I heard that he was in fact going. It didn't say two. It just had it booked. That was the list. I just went and selected one. So it's me and all of the gear that I'll take. I don't know. Maybe I'll check and see if Audie wants to go. It's the only thing they had was it is a 2-bed. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. So that is there, and now they can't kick me out because we're here. We're there. I mean, I'm sure he cannot let me into their amazing grand hall, but I'll just sit outside of it. And every time they open the door and go out to pee, I'll be waving and take pictures inside real quickly. We'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll have to see what everybody else thinks. Yeah, I'm a registered guest of the hotel. I have room to be there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He can't get rid of me. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm just saying that, like, maybe if they specifically rented some specific like hall, maybe they wouldn't be able to let me in there or whatever. But I just can't believe that he would do that. I would think that he would be like, yeah, come on in. Like, I don't know. We'll put him to the test. We'll see what he'll say. I just want to, you better believe that. You better believe that. I will. Yeah, there won't. Yeah, it'll all be live streamed and or recorded 100%. So there is no.
You still have like one of your vests from your days as a cop.
A bulletproof vest? Oh, you mean the like an entry vest? Yeah.
With all the places you can clip shit on, pouches, and wear that with you.
Ain't no way they're letting you in. Well, we will see. It'll be amazing. So, okay, onward from there. I've heard. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard a little rumor that they are not going to let the clerk's office go. Now, I don't know how true that is or not, but I've heard that they're not letting the elected clerk go because apparently she is not a council person and she's not a department head. She's an elected official. So it'll be interesting to see, like, now I'll need to live stream it so the clerk can watch. Yeah, I will know. Listen, I will know 100% because like I said, there's a council meeting that will take place on the Monday beforehand. And I'm going to ask them at the council meeting who's going. Who are going? Are you going? Are you going? Are you going? Are you going? Yeah, Annie, I think that's weird. I don't know why. I don't know why they would do that. I don't know what the point is of that, but that's what's happening. Okay, we've got to move on now because we've got two other stories that we've got to talk about. Number one, Annie, don't go anywhere. Number one, the city of Muncie did do this thing for whatever reason where they decided to not go through the council and update the salary ordinance before they increased through a 10% raise the money for the AFSCME employees. Okay. And this is something that we talked about back in the last couple weeks of April. It's definitely something that we talked about in the first week of May when we attended the council meeting on May 6th. Audie Barber brought it up in the council meeting. Hey, this is something you guys need to be. He brought this up to the council. This is something that you guys need to check into. This is a problem. Yada yada yada. Okay. And then after he did that, Nora Powell, Counselor Nora Powell for District 2, called Craig Wright up and she called him out, man. So we talked about it back then, definitely. Now, the Star Press finally ran an article yesterday on the 28th. Better late than never. The article that I wrote up about it, and then I shared the Star Press, was this. Well, it's about time the Star Press jumped on board. The Political Spotlight covered this back in the last week of April, first week of May. Then Audie Barber brought it up at the Muncie City Council meeting on Monday, May 6th, 2024. City Councilor Nora Powell definitely made the right decision to call City Controller Craig Wright on the carpet for this at the end of that monthly meeting. But look how Controller Craig Wright and Mayor Dan Ridenour are still now trying to play this off as though it's no biggie in the newspaper. Listen. Ridenour and the city of Muncie's attempt to break the AFSCME Union while Dan and co. trip all over themselves to kiss the asses of the police and fire unions is just absolutely ridiculously gross. Anyone that cannot see through what Dan did during the 2023 negotiations with both the police and fire unions because he was up for re-election is blind or ignorant, period. If you can't see what he did there and you don't understand or don't know it, you're blind or you're ignorant, period. And anyone that can't or won't say that Dan was wrong for what he did or did not do with those three unions during his re-election bid, well, you're simply part of the problem. And now, as they try to skirt the rules to make it seem like they care about AFSCME Union employees now, and that they deserve this raise and that it's not a big deal that they are outside of city ordinance, well, that's just laughable. Hell yes, the AFSCME Union employees deserve the raise, but they deserve much more than that. They deserve Ridenour sitting down and negotiating in good faith. They deserve Ridenour doing the right thing where they are concerned, not just the bare minimum. That seems like it's a running theme. The Star Press article was out. We're going to talk about that in a second. You better believe I'll be talking about this as much as I possibly can and bringing this to the forefront, because kissing the asses of the police and fire unions for electorate votes is a tried and true, government tactic in Muncie and everywhere else for that fact. But AFSCME is not much different than that. And the fact that they're trying to treat them differently is insane to me. So the Star Press article that came out, I'm going to share that with you here. For those of you that have not seen it. Looks like this. City civilian workers get 10% raise before salary ordinance change. Editor's note. This story has been updated to correct an error about the city administration's notification to the city council about negotiations with public safety representatives. I didn't see that until right now. Even though no overall contract agreement has been reached between the city administration and the union representing the city civilian municipal employees, Dan Ridenour ordered the city to start paying out a 10% raise to those employees beginning this month. The raise is on par with the percentage pay increase given to the city police and the firefighters before the city election last year. Ridenour told the Star Press that he went ahead and gave the members of the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees a pay increase because they deserve it. Well, why didn't they deserve you sitting down in good faith last year? Disgusting, Dan. Negotiations for a new contract with the union started last year and have yet to reach a resolution because the administration is not negotiating in good faith. Period. That's the reason. Ridenour, a Republican, declined to say what areas of the disagreement between the union and administration have held up in the agreement. Nate Burgess, president of the union local, did not return calls seeking comment. Muncie City Council member Nora Powell brought the matter up during the May 6th council meeting after a citizen also did. I wish the newspaper would have referenced that. Audie should have got a plug for doing what he did. Powell brought it up in the council meeting by asking city controller if a raise had been granted. Wright confirmed the raises started May 3rd. I knew that they were going to start almost 2 weeks before that. Powell, a Democrat, told the Star Press that she had heard about the raises from outside the administration, and she was concerned that the mayor took the action in violation of the city salary ordinance, which set pays for city employees during the year. The ordinance was passed in December. We will be doing a salary ordinance amendment, Wright told Powell during the public meeting. So you're outside the city ordinance right now, Powell asked. Craig Himhold around. Wright said the ordinance would be dealt with. An amendment to the salary ordinance has now been prepared for the June 3rd council meeting. I don't give a shit when they do it. They were outside of the ordinance. Now, nothing's going to happen because of it. They're not even going to get a slap on the hand. But they deserve to know that we know they're in the wrong. Because if you take Ridenour out of here and you put Dennis Tyler in here and you put Aaron Clark as the council member calling Kevin Niemeyer out. The people that are okay with what happened here would be losing their damn minds, and that is gross. Powell said that the Ridenour administration spent money without the authorization from council, and that should be a problem, and we should all have a problem with that. That is a major problem with this administration. Ridenour said the Indiana statute gives the city executive authority to spend salary outside the salary ordinance if the ordinance is updated during the year of spending. Powell said the employees who work with the Parks Department, Street Department, Prairie Creek Reservoir deserve the raise. Nobody thinks they don't. I agree. She has no issue with the pay increase itself, but objects to the mayor failing to follow what she considers to be proper procedures and avoid spending in violation of the city ordinance. Listen, if it doesn't matter, then why is it there? If it doesn't matter, let's redo it. If it doesn't matter, let's get rid of the ordinance. We shouldn't just have ordinances on the book for no reasons. If Dan is willing to play fast and loose with this, what's the chance that he didn't play fast and loose with the Dustin Clark deal? If he's willing to, break ordinance here, break the law here, what's to say he wasn't willing to break ordinance or break the law there?
Or with the crisis center and the
or with the crisis center,
or the deal with the Michael's Place, or the deal at the South Side Mall.
On and on and on and on.
On and on and on.
Mm-hmm. That's how or with this meeting that we're getting ready to go to. That's why I do what I do. That's why I call Ridenour out. People are like, why are you always giving him a hard time? Because, damn it, somebody has to keep him accountable. She said Ridenour used to be on council and is aware of how things are to be done properly. She then said, I have no axe to grind. That's hilarious. She has asked Council President Jerry Dishman to call a special meeting of council to deal with the spending issue. To this point, Dishman has not responded, and I think that is gross, too. Look, I'm not just going to give Ridenour hell. I'm also going to give Jerry Dishman hell. You're a Democrat, Jerry. You have a fellow Democrat counselor asking you to call a special meeting. And he just doesn't get back? Oh, yeah, Annie. 1,000%. I know what she's doing. I see what she's doing. I know exactly what she's doing, and it's such a weird... it's such a weird deal to be happy with what she's doing, knowing what she's doing, and knowing what it means. I don't know. Ridenour said the city union had not been able to reach an agreement on the contract, which includes issues beyond salary. So he said he wanted to go ahead and give them a raise now rather than wait for a contract agreement ratification. The 10% pay increase given to police and fire heading into the general election raised eyebrows last year. And let me tell you why. Because he did that for votes. Maybe it's just a coincidence that within 4 weeks of the negotiations, the mayor had been endorsed by the unions. Amazing how that works. After they were given the biggest raise ever, said Jeff Robinson, who used to be city council president and was the Democrat candidate running against Ridenour on the November election. Ridenour said the increase were meant to boost recruitment for both public safety departments. Negotiations that led the public safety raises were done outside of city ordinance that prescribe how the contracts talks are to take place. So he was breaking the law back then. Brandon Murphy, then the attorney for the council, said that if no member of the council is on the negotiation team for the city, a member of the negotiation committee is to report on negotiations to the chairman of the council's financial committee. Well, guess who that was? That chairman of the finance committee was Jeff Robinson, who at the time was Ridenour's election opponent. So they didn't want to tell him that. And so they didn't. Ridenour said his administration did report the negotiations to the council's finance committee, but he admitted it wasn't timely. Who gives a shit if they did it after they found out about it after the fact, after it doesn't matter? Ridenour is so stupid. I can't believe he would say anything that would create this line. That is stupid. At the time of the police and firefighter raises, Robinson asked the administration if there was language in the city workers union contract that required similar raises for those employees. They do have clauses in there. Like I say, it's all negotiable, Wright told the council members in September in a very gross and slimy way. Ridenour said the annual cost for the 10% civilian raises were between $200,000 and $300,000. It applies to full-time employees and does not include elected officials. The mayor said the city can afford the raises because he deliberately is promoting economic development without use of tax increment financing. When TIF is used on development projects, the resulting increase to property taxes goes towards economic development. By not using TIF, the resulting tax increases feeds into the city's general fund salaries, as well into other funding for local schools. And so Ridenour is the savior of the masses. No, he's the king of the asses. That's what he is. Wright told the Star Press that the contract negotiations with AFSCME are set to resume on June 12th. I don't know what to do with this. But if the people of Muncie, I'm happy to see how the people of Muncie have reacted to this Camp Ridenour. But let me tell you, folks, don't tire yourselves out because they need the same full court press on everything. On everything. All right. Let's move on from there to now talking about the Muncie Crisis Center. We have an update with the Crisis Center. Well, maybe not so much an update as I need to say something's happening. Everybody out there needs to pay attention to what's happening. Annie, specifically listen to this, and I need to talk to you after I go off air. Something is happening here, and I'm just going to say this. If anybody out there is connected in any way to any of the partners in this crisis center, please reach out to me. If anyone is anywhere close to knowing what's going on in connection with Meridian, if anyone is anywhere close to knowing what's going on with IU Health Ball Memorial Hospital, if anyone is aware of any of that, we need to know what's going on. Something is going on. Something is going on. And I just want to say that I think that there are some moving around of parts. So we need to keep our eye on this. We need to keep our eye. The termite center, yes. So, going into tonight's show, I was told some information that I thought that I would be able to confirm today. I was unable to confirm it. So I really can't talk more about it at this point, but I just want to say something funky is going on. So I am moving the crisis center back up into like a major player to keep our eye on. Something's going on around Cornerstone Arts Club. Yeah, I've heard that too. So we'll be looking into those things and more. I also had as a very last thing to talk about, and that is records. Did we get any records today? No records from the city of Muncie. No records from the city of Muncie. We're blank there. And then the last is, what about records from Henry County? And that is, I did receive some records from Henry County the other day, but they're very minor. They're very minor records, and they kind of need to be put with a bigger episode where there's a lot to talk about. So I will go over what those records are tomorrow briefly, but we will talk about them in bigger detail when we have a bigger episode. Nothing from Madison County yet. I'm still waiting there. I will send Madison County an email tomorrow. Dustin Clark is still on paid timeout. I heard the state police investigated. They interviewed him again last week, but I have not heard anything more. I have heard that there are some department heads that are starting to get upset with Ridenour over what he's doing. So I will keep you guys posted on that. We will go over that stuff tomorrow with the records and things. There are some other things that we need to look into. I'll keep you posted. I'll keep you posted on the city's response, if any, about me getting this room. I'll keep you guys posted. And we will let you guys know. We will be back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. You guys should check in with us. That would be fantastic if you so could find it in your heart to do. Come back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. If you have not clicked over here and done any of these things on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't clicked the bell, then please do so on your way out. And you guys have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday evening. God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful Thursday. And we will see you back here tomorrow. All right. Take care. Good night. God bless. Bye. What's happening? There it goes. Is the YouTube playing? There we go.